So enzyme. Today we are going to talk about enzyme. So in this topic, actually, this is will be a long long list of topics are there in that, but we will understand enzyme very nicely. Why do we need to understand enzyme? Because if we understand enzyme, we will understand whole of the metabolic processes. As I've told you, you need to understand the principles. If you need, you can understand this. You can take these enzymes as a like units of this machinery, cellular machinery. So you can take that as instrument, as parts of this cellular machinery. So this enzymes, if you understand enzymes well, you will understand metabolism well. So that is why we will understand enzyme in this three to four classes. Three to maybe we have three classes. We may take more than one, four classes. So in that classes, we will understand what enzyme is. So this is a very basic. This will provide you a very strong foundation. If you understand more, you understand enzyme, better you understand the enzyme, better you will understand metabolism and other parts of your biochemistry. So unique, we will talk about the uniqueness, why this enzyme is unique in its own activity. So identify and evaluate enzyme chemistry and function, classify enzymes into 6 categories, and explain the factors affecting enzymes. So as yesterday only, as you have studied this model, I've given you energy coupling. So what you take solar photons, actually solar photons, you are indirectly taking solar photons. Actually solar photons is converting into food, and that food you are taking, and that food you are converting into energy, as well as that food is also available for synthesis of higher molecules. So energy is being generated in simple molecules you use to build your body, to accumulate your body from the universe. So I told you to recognize yourself, your body, as conscious functional unit of the universe, because you are accumulating energy and the matter from the whole universe and building body through this process, through this model. You can see through this model, and this is done by enzymes. So enzymes comes here to facilitate whole function. Enzymes here to facilitate whole function, to extract energy as well as to use energy to make higher biomolecules. In addition to making biomolecules, what you do, you use energy. Your body uses energy to do additional works, to maintain integrities of cell, to maintain mechanical works, to speak, to walk, to do anything, to do your work. So these all things require energy and matter. So this matter will, like a simple molecule, will be converted into, and it will give the shape of your body. So this is what lies at the heart of this model is metabolism. So metabolism lies at the heart of this whole model. So which metabolism? Exergonic process is catabolic process. So catabolism is exergonic process. So exergonic process, catabolism, release energy, and anabolism, that is endergonic process. We will use from the time now, we will use endergonic and exergonic terminology, endergonic and exergonic, rather than thermic. Thermic defines thermic as very narrow meaning, but gonic has a larger meaning, broader meaning. That is why we will be using exergonic and endergonic. You will have to understand that. So endergonic processes is required to build this molecule. Okay, so this is the model. This model, based on this model, our body functions. You can see this is the model on which our body functions, and enzyme facilitates this model. You can take this as an analogy, this model. So this life, whatever you function, will is meaning function of your life, any function of your life is that is the wheel of your life is run by this machinery that is there inside our body. And that machinery, even that machinery has enzyme, and that enzyme plays a very vital role there. These are engine. Enzymes, consider those enzymes are engine, part of engine, dynamic engine that will actually causes your life to move. So this is the significance of enzyme. You can see and then fuel is actually transformed into energy by your enzymes only. And there is where in the role of enzyme comes. The role of enzymes is very important to propel your life. And then this enzyme is also utilized, as you have seen here, to synthesize biomolecule, to construct your body, to accumulate your body and repair those damaged part of your body automatically. So you make decisions. So see, this is a wonderful machinery. Your body is wonderful machinery, and that is actually, you can make decision for yourself. You can, your enzymes does like work for you. So at cellular level, enzyme works for you like engine. Now, so what is enzyme? So this is like metaphysical part of your body. Okay, this is metaphysical part of your body, that you may call it philosophical connection of your body, your enzyme. And then we will talk about our very very conceptual approach we will take about the we will study in terms of biochemistry what enzyme is. So enzyme are biological catalyst. If you remember this, only this word, it will define all things. So what does catalyst means? Catalyst means it increases rate of reaction. Catalyst means it increases rate of reaction. Biological means it is a biomolecule. It is a biomolecule. Biomolecule present in living organism, biological system. Biomolecules in biological system. So if you remember this, you will you know what is enzyme, what enzyme is. So this enzyme is a biomolecules. Which biomolecules? Protein. Enzymes are protein which increases the rate of reaction. Increases the rate of reaction without being consumed actually, and it is present in our body. So did you understand what is enzyme? Remember, enzyme is a biological catalyst. Catalyst means that increases rate of reaction. So we will see in detail about this property of this biological catalyst in next slide. So molecules, there are few exceptions to this rule. Like enzyme, all enzymes are proteins except few. Those enzymes are formed by RNA. These are called ribosome. You will study about this enzyme in genetics. In my class, you will not go through this ribosome. So you will study some ribosomes are there playing very important role in genetics. For example, splicing. Splicing. Go and find out this terminology, meaning of this splicing. The role out in splicing is played by ribosome. Then translation and splicing, these functions are carried out by ribosomes. So go and find this splicing. What does splicing mean? Okay. So molecules upon which enzyme act is called substrate. So in normal terms, you know, the A will, when A converts into B, so enzyme is there. Enzyme. So enzyme act on this reactant. So reactant here upon which enzyme act is called substrate. Okay, substrate. Remember this terminology. And the product is called product. Reactant here is called substrate because enzyme act on it, and that is, and then product is called product. So substrate and product. Now see. So we will talk about the characteristics of enzyme here. So characteristics of enzyme, I have given you 3 S, S3 and R3. Or you can R and S, you can remember either way, R3 and S3. So this mnemonics will characterize actually characteristics of enzyme. And see, this is the most important slide. If you remember 6 characters, I am going to actually explaining only these 6 characteristics of enzyme. In next class, in this class also after this slide, I am going to explain, I am going to more into detail of this 6 point only. Did you get that? So these are the 6 points. Just remember what 3S means. S for speed, selectivity, and specificity. Speed, selectivity, and specificity. Remember, speed, selectivity, specificity. And what are these 3 are? Reaction condition, reaction site, and then regulation. reaction condition, reaction site, and regulation. Memorize this. S3 and R3. Speed, selectivity, specificity. Speed, selectivity, specificity, reaction condition, reaction site, and regulation. So these three are 3S. So what does this speed mean? So you will be confused when you see many text. I will put a blank text. So what does this speed means? This is speed. Speed means, as you know, the enzyme increases the rate of reaction. So rate of reaction will be increased. So this is speed. So how many times does enzyme increases the rate of reaction? You can easily, it's easy to tell, million to billion, even to trillion. So enzyme is a very efficient catalyst. It can increase a rate of reaction up to trillion times. You cannot imagine how fast is trillion times. You may like, even trillion is below like milliseconds, microseconds, you can say. So does reaction in microseconds. So this is the speed of enzyme. Then what is selectivity? Selectivity. So selectivity is a property of enzyme that enzyme select a particular substrate only. Enzyme can bind a particular substrate. Selectivity is to substrate. So choosing substrate. So it chooses a particular substrate. For example, glucokinase, GK, glucokinase will choose glucose only. So this is called selectivity. And then specificity. Third is specificity. Specificity is for reaction type. So a particular enzyme catalyze a particular reaction. This is called reaction type. And this reaction type, based on this reaction type, we will classify enzyme today. So based on this reaction type, we will classify enzyme. So what type of reaction enzyme catalyze defines enzyme. Again, I repeat, the type of reaction enzyme catalyze defines enzyme. Okay. So speed, selectivity, specificity. After that, we will talk about reaction condition. Reaction condition. So reaction condition means an enzyme require a particular reaction. You know, your body also require a very moderate kind of environment. In extreme temperature, both in lower and higher temperature, you cannot survive because enzyme cannot survive. That is why you cannot survive. So extreme condition, extreme pH also your body cannot survive because your enzyme cannot survive. So pH works in a very moderate pH and temperature. So that is a very important property of enzyme. Then reaction site. Reaction site. So this reaction site is more commonly called active site. So this reaction site is the site of enzyme. This is the mouth of enzyme. If you see, this is an enzyme. So this is the part of enzyme. This is the cleft of enzyme where reaction occurs. Not whole enzyme is engaged in reaction. A cleft of enzyme is a pocket inside the enzyme is involved in reaction. This pocket is called active site. Now, last is enzyme is subjected to regulation. So enzyme is subjected to regulation. So this is enzyme. Enzyme has a particular site on its body, and that can be actually modulated. Enzyme body can be modulated, and that is how enzyme can be regulated. So will you remember these 6 points?
I'm sorry, sir. Could you go back to regulation, please?
Okay, I will explain. No problem. Just would you remember these 6 points? I will explain every point in detail. No, don't worry about it. Selectivity, specificity. Did you understand these 3?
Yes.
First?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great.
Yes,
so
sir.
then, did you understand reaction condition?
Yes.
Yes.
Reaction site, did you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Regulation, you did
Yeah.
not understand. I will explain regulation. Don't worry about it. So, will you remember these 6 points?
Yes.
Okay, great. If you remember, I will explain. Don't worry about it. So remember these 6 points. You can see the rate of reaction in enzyme has capability to increase is from million to even more than trillion. Trillion has 12. but more than trillion. Enzyme is very, very, very efficient catalyst, remember, and very, very, very selective and specific. And then reaction, it requires a moderate kind of, as your body requires moderate kind of condition, because your enzyme requires moderate kind of environment. That is why your body is nothing but collection of enzyme. I've already explained it. Enzyme and other molecules. So as your molecule behaves, so your body will behave. An active site, we will talk about active site, and then regulatory site. I will talk about regulatory site. So first, see the enzyme. First, let's see this cartoon. So if you see this cartoon, so put this cartoon into your imagination. Because your brain is not word friendly. You know that. Your brain is not word friendly. Your brain is picture friendly. So that is why you need a picture to understand anything. Many people find biochemistry difficult because biochemistry, many people try to study biochemistry in terms of those words, and that does not work. You have to make an images of things. So I have given you cartoon of this enzyme. So remember this cartoon of enzyme, I have animated cartoon. So there is nothing called I inside, but I have made it I here. So there's no enzyme has I, just for animation. Now you can see this is the enzyme. An enzyme has a mouth inside, okay, and the body, only mouth and body. So mouth has teeth, just the designation. There will not be such exactly teeth kind of thing that we have. So it has teeth. This is just analogy, and this teeth is of enzyme is made up of two things. One is all enzyme will have one teeth thing, side chain of amino acid. I will describe what is side chain of amino acid. Side chain of amino acid. So all will have side chain of amino acid, and few enzymes will have coenzymes as a special teeth. Few enzymes will have coenzymes as special teeth, and this special teeth is made up of nothing but vitamins and minerals. Here the role of vitamins and minerals comes. You eat most of the, not all vitamin minerals form teeth, but most of the vitamins and minerals actually form teeth. So that is why you eat vitamins and minerals. One of the function of these vitamins and minerals to form teeth of enzyme. Okay. Now this is the part of active site. So this is active site has got this side chain teeth, and this teeth is made up of this. So understand this way. Now the body of enzyme. So I am talking about the anatomy of enzyme. Remember. So body of enzyme has a site called allosteric. Allo means different. Allo means different. The different site than mouth. The active site. So this has got allosteric site where reactant will convert into product, and product, if it is very high, it will bind this site. Okay, it will bind this site, and actually this, after binding of product, what will happen? Enzyme structure of enzyme, this will change structure of enzyme. Okay, and then after changing of structure, this enzyme will not be as active as it was before without binding. Did you understand till now? So change the structure. Yes?
Yes, Dr. Anderson.
So if there is high concentration of product, it
Yes.
goes into the allosteric site.
Great.
The
Change the shape of enzyme.
sorry?
Change the shape of this enzyme. Structure.
Okay. So
Okay.
it stops the reaction.
It slows down the reaction.
Okay.
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 If it is if product is in very high concentration, it can stop also, but proper word will be slows down the reaction. Got that?
But it cannot discontinue. It
cannot
doesn't discontinue.
completely. But see, product, it depends on product.
So,
It depends on product.
excuse me, sir. So what I'm getting is that, so the enzyme reacts with the substrate and produces the product. Now,
Great. And this product will inhibit. This is the similar to the mechanism you study in feedback inhibition.
right.
Okay.
So,
So this is
doctor, allostric site will not make enzyme off. It will keep enzyme active, but slow or speedily, like speed or
yes, yes,
slower.
it will slow down. It will slow down.
Yeah.
It will
So
slow down.
no way to be like off the enzyme anytime. Like
Yes,
to
yes.
sitting there without doing nothing.
Yeah. If product rises, it can off the enzymes.
Oh,
It
it
can,
can.
like, if product concentration increases very high, so it has ability to almost stop the enzyme activity.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, it can in some enzymes. So it varies. That is why I'm telling you this decreases. It varies enzyme to enzyme. Okay. So this is called enzyme regulation. Did you understand now?
Yes.
This is called enzyme regulation. So product will bind here, not here. Reactant binds here, and reactant binds here. Reactant will convert into product, and product will bind here. If product is in very high quantity, then bind here. And that is how it controls, product will control the reaction. So did you understand? Will you remember this anatomy of enzyme?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So remember, this is the picture. If you remember, so this picture will help you understand enzyme in a better way. So because your brain does not retain energy, and this particular enzyme, this works in very moderate type of condition of temperature and pH. It cannot tolerate extreme temperature and extreme pressure. So this is what you have to understand. So put this image into your imagination and try to close your eyes and see this enzyme working, like moving like something moving object. So working dynamic object, something dynamic. It is biting that reactant, it converting into product, and then product coming and inhibiting. So you imagine this cartoon in an animated way. Now, so let's talk about this specific teeth. Okay, specific teeth of this enzyme. That specific teeth is made up of vitamins and minerals. These are called coenzymes. So enzymes, some enzymes are active only when there is this particular teeth is present. If that teeth is not there, that enzyme will not be active. So these enzymes are called coenzymes. So now coenzymes and cofactors. So let's define few terminology. So coenzymes is the term. It can be used as general terms terminology also. And specifically, this coenzyme means this organic compound. Organic compounds are vitamins, and that will form coenzymes. So these coenzymes are organic compounds. And cofactors. Cofactors are mineral, inorganic compound. So there are two terminology you can see. One is coenzyme, other is cofactor. Coenzymes are vitamins, organic compounds, and cofactors are minerals, inorganic compounds. Did you understand? Okay. So here you see minerals are iron, magnesium, manganese, zinc. There are other minerals as well that will function as cofactor. So coenzyme is organic and cofactor is inorganic. Now there is other terminology called prosthetic group. The prosthetic group can be either vitamins or minerals. It can be either, but only one criteria: it has to be tightly bound to enzyme. It has to be tightly or even covalently bound to the enzyme. So this is called prosthetic group. Prosthetic means tightly bound. Anything, it can be organic or inorganic. Now this is so I have already told you chemical teeth. So this is chemical, special type of teeth. Now you can see when this coenzyme is there in certain enzyme, when coenzyme is there, then only that enzyme will become a hollow enzyme, a functional enzyme. Otherwise, this enzyme is non-functional. And that is why this apo enzyme is protein part and this is non-protein part. So non-protein and protein in certain enzyme, it will make hollow enzyme. See this as this. So this is apoenzyme protein part and coenzyme. When apoenzyme and coenzyme bind together, so this is mouth part of enzyme. When bind together, this becomes a hollow enzyme, whole enzyme. And that is whole functional enzyme. So apoenzyme is protein part, and this coenzyme is non-protein part. It can be organic. If it is organic, it is coenzyme. Inorganic, cofactor. You can remember from this picture. So coenzyme is organic, loosely bound. Cofactor is inorganic, loosely bound. But prosthetic group is organic or inorganic. But it has to be tightly bound or even covalently bound. So these are the classification. So general coenzyme also used as general terminology. Okay, coenzyme. So coenzyme can be classified like this. Now, so we will study about the different types of coenzymes. So most of the vitamin B complex makes coenzymes. So let's see what are the coenzymes, name of coenzymes. So this is called thiamine, vitamin B1, thiamine. It will form thiamine pyrophosphate. TPP is thiamine pyrophosphate. Thiamine pyrophosphate. Phosphate. Okay, this is thiamine pyrophosphate. Now FM and FAD, this is riboflavin made up of vitamin B2. So vitamin B2 will form this coenzyme. So this is basically vitamin converted into a nucleotide, and this nucleotide coenzyme. This is called FM and FAD. Flavin mononucleotide and flavin. So this is flavin adenosine dinucleotide. This is flavin mononucleotide. This is flavin adenosine dinucleotide. This is niacin, made from niacin is NAD. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. You can go and check for the full form anywhere. You will find this full form. Don't worry about it. You will find anywhere full form. If you type this full form of this in Google, you will find that. So pantothenic acid B5 is coenzyme A. This is called coenzyme A. So this is a very important part. So this I will ask question from this in this. So which will form what? Riboflavin will form what? So this NAD is made by which vitamin? This NAD is formed by which vitamin? You have to answer vitamin B3. I may give choice only vitamin B3. I can give niacin or I can give, it's my choice. So you have to choose that. So see, you can see niacin, vitamin B3 convert into this, pantothenic into this, and then pyridoxal in pyridoxal phosphate, folic acid into tetrahydrofolate, and cobalamin, vitamin B12 into adenyl or methyl cobalamin. So these two are hemopoietic coenzymes. So these are involved in hemopoiesis. So at the same time, I'm also teaching you vitamins. So remember, this is also a class of vitamin, you can say. So because vitamin is integral part of enzyme activity. Did you understand? You have to memorize this all. Okay, you have to memorize this all right now. So this coenzymes can be classified into two groups. One is oxidoreductase, that is this oxidoreductase coenzymes, other is non-oxidoreductase coenzymes. So those oxidoreductase coenzymes are these are the coenzymes that are involved in oxidoreductase. These are the enzymes. So these are involved in oxidation and reduction. Others are involved in transfer of other things. So in oxidation reduction, you see oxidation reduction means taking of electron or donating of electron. So electron here means hydrogen. So hydrogen. So transfer of hydrogen is done by this coenzyme. And these are the coenzymes which are involved in various other activities. I'm going to describe a little bit about more important coenzymes which transfer what group. So see, you can see here, these are the coenzymes which transfer these groups. So you can see thiamine pyrophosphate, TPP, will transfer aldehyde. So FAD will transfer as this is what? This is oxidoreductase. NAD added. That is why it will transfer hydrogen or hydride ion, electron or hydride ion, you can see. Lipoid, this is not B4, but you can remember at B4. So that is why I have put question mark, so that you can remember B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, B9, B12. So these are the vitamins you can see vitamins, these are involved in various activities, transfer of these different group. So vitamin B5 is involved in transfer of acyl group, pyridoxal phosphate is involved in transfer of amino group. So you will not understand these things here. Remember, this is very important. Biotin is involved in transfer of carbon dioxide. Actually, all are important. You will have to, when we study metabolism, you will have to go back and look at this table. Okay, you will have to, for the time being, you will have to memorize these 3 tables about vitamins. You will have to memorize these 3 tables of vitamins for the time being. Then when we study, then you come back and you can see this function of. So this is the foundation. If you memorize, it will give you foundation. So this coenzyme is the first special type of teeth. Now second teeth is given by side chain, as I've told you. So this is teeth. Coenzyme is a teeth. So you can go about the studying about this teeth. You can memorize these 3 slides of coenzyme. Now this is side chain. So side chain is present in all enzymes. It is present in active side of all enzymes. And this side chain plays a very important role as teeth here. So this side chain, you can see this is amino. What is side chain? If you would think what is side chain? This is side chain is, you have to understand this before understanding side chain, you have to understand the structure of amino acid. So what is amino acid? Amino acid, I will tell you. So slide is sometimes confusing. So this is acid and this is amino group. Okay. This is amino acid. You can see carbon is at the center and carbon has tetravalency, 4 valency. So this is amino group, this is acid group, amino acid. Now 2 valency has to be fulfilled. 1 valency is fulfilled by hydrogen. This is always present in all amino acid. There are 20 amino acid present in protein. So all amino acid has this structure. And 4th is side chain. This is side chain. And this side chain is a very specific amino acid. That is why I call this side chain as head of the face of the amino acid. From this side chain, you recognize the amino acid. So I have made this into cartoon like this. So this is like body, and this is hands. Body and hands are always same, but the face of the people changes, and that is why you can recognize. This is how you can recognize this R group as the face of any amino acid. This is amino. This is acid. Amino acid has amino, and then acid is carboxy group, and then side chain and 1 hydrogen. So this is the general structure of amino acid, and this changes amino acid to amino acid. This side chain changes. Did you understand till now what is side chain?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, great. So you can see this is side chain. I have made it face. So this is side chain is forming the teeth of this. Okay. So side chain, how does side chain form teeth? I will tell you. This amino acid is unit of protein. This is involved in bond formation. This amino and acid both are involved in bond formation. So when you talk about this protein is a polymer. Polymer, this acid and amino group are engaged in this chain. Acid and amino group are engaged in the chain. Only hydrogen and R group are free. And that is why this R group can function as the part of this enzyme. It can be free here like teeth, and it can catalyze the reaction. So this R group is free. How? You can see this is the chain of protein. You can see this is carboxy group and amino group. They are involved in bond formation, peptide bond formation. So we will talk about talk in detail about the protein in MD2. For the time being, just understand what is protein. So this is peptide, but amino acid form chain. What is protein? Protein is polymer of amino acid linked by peptide bond. And this carboxy and amino, both acid and amino group are involved in this chain. So this is the backbone. You can see this is the backbone. Amino and carboxy are the backbone. It is no, they are not free. Only side chains are free. Only side chains are free. Only side chains are free. That is why that side chain has ability to do reaction based on, because it are some side chains have you can see electronegativity, it will have more electron dense region. OH is electronegative. You can say this is also electronegative. This is also electronegative. So if there is electron dense region, it can attack a molecule. Okay, it can attack a molecule. So these are called nucleophile because these are electron dense. It will attack positively charged nucleus. So that is why they are called nucleophile. Here, these are the amino and amino groups. So these are acid group here. So this can attack what? Acid. This can attack base, and that is why this is acid base catalysis. Some amino acid involved in acid base catalysis, and other amino acid side chain have what? More like positive charge here. Positive charge here. You can see positive charge, and that is why it can attack negatively charged. So this is how you can see reaction happens. This is how this side chain function as teeth. You don't have to memorize in detail, just understand how side chain is functioning as teeth. Because of uneven distribution of electrons. Some will have very high electron, that is why it will attract the electron rich region in the substrate, and someone has very less electron, and that is why it will attract the electron rich, electron deficient, electron rich. This is how reaction is catalyzed. And some has acid side chain, and that is why it will attack base part of substrate. Someone has base, that is why it will attack acid part of substrate. Did you understand this?
Yes, we're understanding.
So this is how teeth will attack. This is how teeth will attack the substrate. So I only described about the teeth here till now. So this is whole class is about active site, and in active site I described mainly teeth. Special teeth is coenzyme, and then general teeth is side chain. So you understood. I also like concluded things. Now after you understood the teeth part, let's talk about the classification. So classification of any amino acid means you are talking about specificity. So I have told you S3, R3. S3 is speed. I'm not going to talk right now about speed. Speed I will talk later. Speed, and then second is selectivity. Selectivity. And then specificity. And then what? Reaction site, regulation, reaction condition. So these are the 6 points. So I already told you about reaction site, that is active site. Now this reaction specificity is about reaction type. Reaction type. Specificity about it defines the enzyme. Specific, a particular enzyme catalyzes a particular reaction. A particular enzyme catalyzes a particular reaction, and that type of reaction defines enzyme. Okay, the type of reaction defines the type of enzyme. Now you can see here. So I will draw the enzyme structure. So you can say this is active site. So substrate will bind here, and this is called enzyme substrate complex. Okay, and then this enzyme substrate complex again convert into enzyme product, and then product will dissociate from the enzyme. Here enzyme plus substrate will bind to the enzyme. So enzyme substrate. So conversion of substrate into product will happen at active site, and this active site is different in different enzymes, you know, and that active site is responsible for a particular type of enzyme. This particular type of reaction, this type of reaction defines type of enzyme. Did you understand this? Type of enzyme means type of reaction it catalyzes. Tell me, did you understand this?
Appreciate if you go over it, sir.
Enzyme type means reaction type. The enzyme catalyzed. And you know, the reaction is catalyzed at active site. Did you understand? I mean to say this one. And this is called a specificity.
Yes.
Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so that means we are going to actually, when we classify and give nomenclature name to enzyme, that means we are actually discussing the type of reaction. We are going to talk about the different types of reactions that are there in metabolism. Okay? Now you can see. How do we name the enzyme? We name enzyme in two ways. First is recommended name. So this is a classical name. Okay? This is a classical name. Classical name or not classical name and common name. Classical or common name. You must have seen in organic chemistry, you give common name to certain molecule and their IUPAC name is different. IUPAC name is systemic name. Here, so enzymes has systemic name and common name. So we generally, when we talk about our pathways, we will not talk about systemic name. We will give common name. But I will try to classify that enzyme during classification. So if you understand this topic nicely, so you will be able to define the types of enzyme that is happening anywhere in your metabolism. If you can classify the type of enzyme, so you can understand easily pathway. You don't have to memorize too much things in the pathway. So this is the impact of this topic. If you understand this topic nicely, you will not have to memorize many things. Your load will be lessened. Now you can see recommended name is recommended name. You just add substrate and then age. This becomes common name or recommended name. And then sometimes you add action that enzyme perform and then you add age. That becomes common name or recommended. It is easy. It is easy. So I told you right now only I will talk about this recommended name right now only. I will not talk about recommended name in this enzyme session after this. So in the classification I will not talk about it. Just understand this only. There is nothing much to remember in this. So you can see urea is catalyzed by an enzyme urease. So lactate dehydrogenase. So what is the function? So dehydrogenation of lactate is done by enzyme called dehydrogenase. Lactate dehydrogenase. So action plus age. Lactate dehydrogenase, substrate plus age. So this is the simple name, and we will be using in metabolism the same name. But during classification, we will talk about more about this. This requires more attention. So systemic name is, in systemic name, we classify enzyme into 6 categories based on reaction types that enzyme perform. 6 classes based on reaction type that enzyme performs. Let's see what are the reaction types that this enzyme performs. So there are 6 types of major types of reactions that this enzyme performs. Those enzyme performing oxidation reduction will be placed into group 1. And see, you cannot shuffle this. You cannot put 6 at 1. So 1 will always given to number 1 is always given to the enzyme. Like you give the street name, your name number to the home address. As you give the number to home, the same way you give number to enzyme. So 1 number is given to all the enzymes that catalyze oxidation reduction. What does oxidation reduction means? Gain and donation of electron, or in other words, hydrogen. So hydrogen or electron. So this donating electron and accepting electron, both where in reaction there will be 2 molecules. One will accept electron, one will donate. So such type of reaction is called oxidoreductase reaction. Now, second type of reaction called transfer. So transfer of group from one compound to other group. So this transferase, those enzymes that catalyzes such type of reaction are called transferases. They are given number 2. And third type of enzyme, those enzymes which break the bond, which breaks the carbon-nitrogen bond, carbon-carbon, that type of bond, which breaks the bond by utilizing H2O. As you know about the digestive enzymes, it breaks the bond by using H2O. So those enzymes which breaks the bond using H2O are called hydrolases, and these are given number 3. Now, fourth category is lyases. Lyases means which break the bond without using H2O, which breaks the bond, but H2O is not utilized. Nothing is utilized, just breaks the bond like this. So they are called lyases. These are given number 4. Fifth number of enzymes, the enzymes that converts glucose to fructose, for example, that does not cause a change in molecular formula, causes change inside the molecule, but the molecular formula will be same. Such type of enzymes are called isomerases. You know what is the isomerism? So this enzyme bring about the isomerism in a molecule. These are called isomerases. And then ligases. If two, for example, carbon-carbon bond is joined, so joining of bond are called ligases. So there are 6 type of enzymes. It is given 6 number. Now I will tell you, I will give you tricks how you remember this number. So O for 1, O for oxidoreductase. You can easily remember whenever oxidoreductase comes, okay, 1 number. T for 2, T for transferase. H for, you can see H is like, you can write 1, 2, 3. So can you write this as 3? Invert this. This is a funny way to write, remember things. Yes? Anyone? Will you remember this way?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so you can remember first 3 through this. Okay. Now let's talk about these 3. So whole mnemonics is O-T-H-L-I-L, Othlil. So you remember through this 3 through L-I-L. Now you can see this also starts with L, this also starts with L. So how do we remember this? This as 4, this as 5. Can you count the number of letters here? How many letters are there?
6.
How many letters are there? Ligase?
7.
So that is why, see, ligase has less number of letters, that is why it will occupy 4th number. Lyase has higher number of letters, that is why it will occupy 6th number. So that is how you will not confuse. Okay, if you use such tricks, you will not confuse. So will you remember this 6 enzyme names, classes?
Sure.
Okay, so all enzymes of oxidoreductase group will start with 1, and then after 1 there will be added few numbers like other numbers like 2, then 1 and 2, like this. 4 number will be added accordingly after this 1 number. The same for transferase, 2 and then specific number for a specific enzyme will be given like this. Let's say 2, 1 and 3, like this. For hydrolase also 2. So 4 number will be given to allotted to every enzyme. So this is number given to every enzyme. This is called enzyme commission number. Home, like home address to home number. Okay, so this number is like this. So first you can see this is transferase. This I'm describing this enzyme creatine kinase. So class, this represent class 1 to 6 class. So this represents class, and then this within that class, what type of compound is transferred. So this is called subclass. What type of group is transferred, and then to what that group is transferred. This is subclass, and then this is a specific name given to a specific. Now, if you can see this whole number, if you can understand the meaning behind that number, if you go into detail of the enzyme, now you will be able to see easily. So this is what does this enzyme do? You will be able to see that enzyme. You will be able to understand that. Okay, this enzyme is transferase. It transfers, and what does it do? It transfers phosphate group. That's fine, phosphate group, because this 7 number represents phosphate group transfer. And to what group? To nitrogen group. Some nitrogen atom, it is transferred. Now a specific number is given. There will be many enzymes that will be doing similar function, putting phosphate from transferring phosphate to nitrogen group, but a specific number is given to a specific enzyme here. So did you understand this? How is this enzyme number given? What is the purpose of giving this enzyme number?
Can you repeat it, please, doctor?
So this number 2 is transferase, as we have seen here. Isn't it that?
Yeah, I understand this one, but I mean,
and then so
like
this
why they use numbers?
Yeah,
like for
yeah,
what?
yeah, I'll tell you. So this transferase is defined more by these numbers. So this a transferase. Transfer what type of group? What type of group does this transfer? This transfer phosphate group. This is given a different number, 7. So it specifies this. So specification of this class, subclass, and sub. This is called class. This is called subclass. This is called subclass.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I understand now.
Okay, where is this phosphate group transferred? To a molecule that is containing nitrogen. And then this is a specific number given to this particular enzyme. So this is enzyme commission number. This enzyme commission number, if you understand, you will understand this enzyme clearly. What does this enzyme do? What is the specificity of this enzyme? Now you can see this. If you don't have to memorize this 4 number. I'm just telling you in order to make you understand what is the significance of this nomenclature. But I want you to memorize only this 6 categories. Okay, only 6 categories. Now you can see. So these are the very key points, very important points. So all oxidoreductases require coenzyme. This is very, very important. Most of the transferase also require coenzyme. Coenzyme means vitamins, minerals, vitamins especially. And then ligases, vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals. So ligases always require ATP, but lyases never utilize ATP. Hydrolases always require H2O, as name suggests, to break. Isomerases bring about intramolecular changes without altering. So remember this 6th point about this. This is very, very important point. Now I will end our class here. Okay. So did you all understand till now about enzymes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, to this, to sub.
We're getting there.